It's coffee time, it's coffee time, it's the One Pot Chef drinking coffee and time. What do you think of it so far? Rubbish. Welcome to Coffee Time, the sort of monthly chat show here on the OnePotChefBlog where I answer questions sent in by you. And if you've got a question for the next edition of Coffee Time, all you need to do is leave it in the comment section underneath this video on YouTube. Now before we get started, I'd like to apologise so profusely for the lateness of this edition of Coffee Time. This was supposed to be up in January. Unfortunately, real life got in the way. I had a few things that I had to sort out, and unfortunately YouTube videos weren't the priority. So what I ended up doing was just letting everything slide while I got everything in my life sorted out. It's all sorted out now, so sorry for the lateness, but hopefully you guys can handle that. If you can't, well, you didn't pay for it. Anyway, let's get into the questions. First question comes from Carter Wittig, and they're saying, what was your favourite video game as a kid if you played them? Goodness. I used to have a Nintendo 64 when I was a kid, and I loved GoldenEye 007. It was a game that I was absolutely obsessed with. I used to play it day and night. That and probably Mario Kart as well. I'm not a huge gamer, never really have been, but I definitely love those two. O asks, favourite and worst childhood memories? Goodness. I don't know about the worst childhood memories, that's not exactly joyous and happy things, but favourite childhood memories, probably just family get-togethers. We used to have these big, wonderful barbecues. We lived in this house down in Sydney that had this huge patio, and we used to have all of our family and friends come over for birthdays and people's anniversaries and all that sort of stuff. And it would just be this huge get-together, lots of people having fun and having great food, and it was always great fun. So that's definitely a favourite childhood memory. Benavale asks, what time period or era would you like to have experienced? Alternatively, would you like to have lived in that time period? Another question is, other than Australia, where would you like to have lived anywhere else in the world? Time period wise, I would love to have seen ancient Egypt at its height. I think that would have been fabulous. It would be really wonderful to have experienced that culture and to see the pyramids being built. I think that would have been amazing. As for living there, I don't think I'd want to live there. It would be nice to go and visit. I'd love to have lived in the Renaissance. I think that would have been interesting as well. I think sort of with all those amazing artistic and creative people, I think that would have been great. Living anywhere else in the world, probably Europe. I'd love to go and explore France and Italy and all those sort of great foodie places. That would be somewhere I'd like to go and check out and hopefully live there and grow and be a very happy, very drunk, very fat man. O has another question. Please explain the quinoa joke. Okay, it's really hard to explain this. It's a running joke between me and Nico. The quinoa thing is that quinoa's got a bit of a reputation in Australia. I'm not sure if it's a worldwide thing or not, but quinoa has this reputation of being this kind of food that only the really sort of overly trendy hipsters will eat. And so when Nico started eating quinoa and doing quinoa recipes, I sort of started going, quinoa, and it became a running joke, and I remember saying something about sort of like, he's keen for quinoa, and it became this tagline that every time quinoa got mentioned or seen, it was keen for quinoa, keen for quinoa. It makes no sense if you're not us, but that's democracy. Hi low la asks, can you do a video on German? I don't know if you mean German food or in German. I don't speak German, except for my Scheppenknopfer, which is cufflinks, and Kleiderbugels, which is a coat hanger. My extensive knowledge of German culture, I love that. Kleiderbugels. Something every tourist in Germany needs to know is Kleiderbugels. As for German food, I love German food. There's actually a German-Austrian restaurant down the road that we go to all the time has got the most amazing food. It's really sort of heart attack quality stuff, but oh god, it's good. It's rich and it's hearty and it's wonderful. I've done a couple of sort of German-inspired dishes. I did a lovely goulash type thing not years ago, months ago, which was a copy of the one that they serve at this restaurant, and it was fabulous. It's so yummy. 100,000 BC. Next to your printer, is that a TARDIS from Doctor Who? If so, where did you get it? Right there. Yes, it is actually, and a Dalek too. I can't remember where I got it. I think it was the ABC shop here in Australia, but it opens up and there's a commemorative silver coin inside it with the TARDIS actually printed on it, and I got it for the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who last year, so I just think it's a cute little fella. Noor Saiki second channel. What is your favourite PS console for playing games? PS1, PS2, PS3 Slim, PS3 Fat, or PS4? I'm not a gamer, and I did have a PS1 when they first came out back in 1992, but I never really played much with it. I didn't really sort of use it much. I think it was one of those sort of things where everyone seemed to be buying PlayStations, and so I bought one, and I sort of bought a few games for it and played it occasionally, but it was just as I was leaving high school and I was working for the first time and I didn't have a lot of free time and I never really got much use out of it. My partner has a PS3. I think it's the slim one, but yeah, I don't use it. He uses it for his racing car games. That's about it. Why isn't Coffee Time videos in HD? Does your webcam support HD? Actually, I don't film Coffee Time or any of the blog videos using the webcam anymore. I actually use my full-size camera, which I use for the cooking videos. The reason Coffee Time isn't in HD is because they're very big videos, and if I tried to do them in full HD and upload them, they would take literally days to upload. The file size is enormous, and even with sort of compression, it's still quite big. So what I do is I sort of try to keep the quality of the video and the audio good while minimising the file size to make it easier for uploading. Otherwise it would literally take forever, and my internet here is incredibly slow at the moment, so I'm waiting for the national broadband network to kick in so I can actually, get things done. So yeah, that's the reason it's not in HD, but it's pretty decent looking now. I think compared to the webcam version of it, I think it looks pretty good now. Next question comes from Light Lunch Boy. Will there be any more taste test videos? Yes, there will be, but they won't be every week. Long story short is I've been doing them for well over a year now, and I was doing them every week, and I think there's something like 70 odd videos or something now. And to be honest, I'm kind of bored with it. Like, I do like it, but I don't want to do it every single week, and so I'd rather do them like maybe once a month or so and do something slightly different. Because like after 70 odd videos, I find I'm sort of repeating myself, and people are sending similar things that I've tried before, and it just sort of, I don't know, I think it's something that needs to sort of be done on a semi-regular basis rather than every single week. So there will be more taste tests, they're just going to be a bit more sporadic from now on. Armadillo Bear. When you were a kid, what was your favourite TV show? I loved the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles when I was a kid, and Monkey, I used to watch that, Monkey Magic. Doctor Who, oh goodness, I don't know. I think they were all pretty much the standard things that kids in Australia in that time watched. I don't know. What else have we got? From Runk Lancelot. 2 questions. What food, ingredient or flavours do you absolutely detest as a child but have grown to love as an adult? Because I've caught myself cooking cabbage, which I would rather have died than eaten as a kid. Also, what herbs do you prefer fresh and which do you prefer dried? Okay, for the first one, I absolutely hated broccoli as a child. I think most children hate broccoli, and it's mainly because kids, their taste buds aren't fully developed. They don't completely develop until you're adolescent. So yeah, as a kid, I hated it. It was bitter and gross, but I actually really like broccoli these days, and I frequently eat it. I don't know. There wasn't a lot as a kid I didn't like. I think that was probably the main one. The only other one that I can think of is Brussels sprouts, and I still don't like them, but then again, they are gross, so... As for herbs, fresh and dried, I think I definitely prefer parsley fresh to dried, although I will use dried if it's just going into something like a sauce, but if I'm using it obviously as a garnish type thing, it definitely needs to be fresh. I definitely agree with you about the oregano and rosemary and thyme can all be used sort of pretty much either way, because they do have fairly strong flavours one way or the other, but definitely coriander must be fresh. I hate dried coriander. That's cilantro to Americans. Yeah, it needs to be fresh. Robert Matthew was asked a lot of questions. Okay, what is your all-time favourite savoury and sweet recipe? How many pets do you have? Have you ever heard of goulash? Oh, we just talked about before. Who is your favourite superhero? And what is your favourite holiday? Okay, savoury and sweet recipes. I'm really odd. You would think sort of like, as someone who deals with food all day, every day, and does cooking videos and stuff, I would pick some elaborate dish, but honestly, my favourite savoury dish of all time, shepherd's pie. I love it. I absolutely love it. I don't have it as much as I really want to these days. I only have it maybe 2 or 3 times a year, but I just love shepherd's pie. As for a sweet recipe, cheesecake. Any kind of cheesecake. Definitely a lemon cheesecake. I love a lemon cheesecake. How many pets do I have? Just the one? Dear old Topaz, my funny little cat who's actually curled up asleep right next to me here. But I don't want to disturb her because she'll spack out and try to kill me. So I'm keeping sort of gentle distance away from her. What was the other questions? Have you heard of goulash? Yes, I've had it several times. Favourite superhero? Don't think I have one. I've never been much in the way of superhero type thing. As for a favourite holiday, anywhere quiet and relaxing. I'd love to just go away to some lovely sort of quiet beach area where there isn't like 1,000 people, where I can just sort of sit back and relax and unwind, because like that's the kind of holiday I desperately need at the moment, is just somewhere I can just relax and unwind. That would be good. Joshua Workman, do you enjoy barbecue sauce, and if so, do you make your own, or do you have a favourite store-bought brand? I like barbecue sauce occasionally. I'm probably the only person in the house who actually eats it at all. I have made it myself, but personally I don't eat it very often, so it's really the kind of thing where I would just have a store-bought bottle of it in the cupboard for whenever I happen to have the mood for it. I love a smoky hickory barbecue sauce. That's wonderful, particularly on hamburgers or marinating sort of meat like ribs or something like that. Yeah, I don't have a particular favourite brand. I just happen to grab one that looks good at the supermarket, to be honest. As I said, I have made it myself. I think I've actually done it on the cooking channel, but it's not something that I would make on a regular basis. It's something that I might make as a gift to give to people like at Christmas, but it's definitely not something that I would sort of make as a regular rotation thing. Card Trick Kid 1. Do you like the band Black Sabbath or Iron Maiden? Also, have you tried Cadbury Marvellous Creations? I personally can't stand them. To be honest, beyond knowing the names Black Sabbath and Iron Maiden, I don't really know their music, so I can't say I like them or dislike them. As for Cadbury Marvellous Creations, I have tried a couple of them, and I don't really like them that much. I'm kind of a plain chocolate guy. I like my sort of pure uncut chocolate. Gaming tips and news. 1. What is your favourite candy bar? What would you prefer to have, the PS4 or the Xbox One? Do you watch the show The Walking Dead? Okay, favourite candy bar, it changes on a regular basis because I have very shifting tastes. Don't know what I like at the moment. I'm sort of going through a Twix thing at the moment, which is bad because I used to be medically addicted to Twix bars. I had to really stop because I was eating one every day when I was working at one particular job years ago, and it was getting bad. I was like, no, this is borderline sort of psychotic behaviour. I have to stop. So, but I'm sort of having a sneaky Twix now and again. Sneaky Twix. What am I talking about? As for the PS4 and Xbox One thing, I have no idea. I don't use consoles or anything like that, so I couldn't honestly tell you, although I do know my partner has been dropping very unsubtle hints about getting a PS4. If he wants to go and buy one, let him, but I'm not buying one. Definitely watch The Walking Dead. I did really like it, but I've started to sort of get a bit bored with it. I think they need to do a bit of creative writing, because I think they've written themselves into a corner. I think they need to stop focusing on going house to house looking for canned goods and actually, do something. Aaron George. Didn't know your mum was from Scotland. Which part of Scotland was she from? She was from Glasgow. Glasgow born and bred. She had that lovely sort of Glaswegian accent, which sort of slightly softened towards the end of her life, but she always definitely had a Glasgow accent, and I loved that. Strider asks, what's your favourite genre of book? Any book in particular? Anything that's sort of, like, I think I've talked about this before. I like sort of crime, like real-life crime books. Things about serial killers and stuff like that, because I find the forensic side of things very interesting. I love how the police are able to find some tiny little bit of fabric or something, and they're able to link that to something else that links this to the killer, and I find that absolutely astonishing that they can do that. So I find those sort of things very interesting, but I also have a lighter side. I also like any kind of comedy book or autobiographies particularly. I love Stephen Fry's autobiographies. He's done 2 or 3 now, and he's had a fascinating life, and it's very interesting to sort of to read about the sort of strange experiences he's had in his life. So definitely that. Ninja Dude 1021. You versus Nico in an epic cooking battle, Mortal Kombat style. How would you finish Nico? Finish him! I don't know, offer to make him an instant coffee? That would probably finish him. I'm going to get smacked for that comment. Moving on. He's going to belt me. Imran Bob. Just wondering, why aren't you making any cooking videos anymore? I am actually on the cooking channel. I did take a short break over Christmas because that's the only sort of time of year I tend to get time off, so I took a couple of weeks off, but I'm back better than ever. So go and check it out. Dragon21A. Who's your favourite Doctor, new and classic? Doctor Who. I think probably new would be David Tennant, and classic probably Tom Baker, because he just was Doctor Who as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, I loved him. Gadgets Forever. Do you ever watch 2.5 Men? I've watched it a couple of times, and I don't see the appeal. I don't think it's funny. I think maybe it's just me, but like I just don't find Charlie Sheen very funny. I find him awkward and weird, and I'm just not into him. But then again, humour is subjective. Some people find things hysterically funny, other people's don't. So yeah, I'm just not a fan. Habe Mustuberex, I hope I'm saying that right. Dude, Breaking Bad, best show ever, right? I don't know. I really don't know, because I've got the first season sitting on the shelf out there and I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. I keep meaning to watch it, but the last couple of months have been absolutely crazy in my world, and I haven't really had a chance to sit down and watch Breaking Bad, which was something that I was intending to do, but life just got in the way. So I am planning on watching it. I will get to it eventually, and hopefully it's as good as everyone's saying, because if it's not, there's going to be hell to pay. Le Saint, what's your all-time favourite chocolate bar in Australia? Ooh, good question. I don't know. I definitely like a cherry ripe. Very, very nice chocolate bar, that. I don't know if it's Australian exactly, but I do like the wagon wheel. It's like a biscuit. It's 2 biscuits, and it's got a marshmallow and jam centre covered in chocolate. It's beautiful. I don't know if that counts as a chocolate bar, but for the sake of argument, I'm going to say it is. But yeah, definitely a cherry ripe. You've got to love a cherry ripe. Cassie Hoffman. I also love the Golden Girls. I have an obsession with them. What do you think of them, and who's your favourite character? Mine is Sophia. Also, what is your favourite episode of the Golden Girls? Okay. My favourite character is probably Sophia. I love her, but mainly because she's got that sort of golden ticket to say and do anything she wants, and I think that's wonderful. I think that really generates great humour, and as a character I think she's just wise and weird and wonderful, and I want to be Sophia when I grow up. As for a favourite episode of the Golden Girls, I don't know. There's so many of them. I've got like half a dozen DVDs of the Golden Girls out there, which I sort of watch now and again, and I don't know, there's just so many great episodes. There's one in particular that sticks in my mind where I think Rose wins a competition in St. Olaf as the Woman of the Year or something, and the girls end up travelling to St. Olaf, but it takes them ridiculous amount of time to get there, and by the time they're almost there, they have to turn around and go back because they've got other things to do, so they end up having to take trains and buses and planes and toboggans, and it's ridiculous, so you never actually get to see St. Olaf, which I think was hysterical. Oh yeah, so yeah, that would probably be one of my highlights. Normandy Beckett. What do you do with leftover candy from your taste test videos that you didn't like? Well, luckily I've got 2 taste testers in the background. I've got my partner and his mother, who both very much enjoy pretty much anything with sugar in it, so if there's something I don't like, chances are at least one of them will like it. So, yeah. John Wadman Scanlan. I love your videos and was wondering if you could give me a birthday shout out in your next coffee time video. Much appreciated. Happy birthday, John. And I probably have missed your birthday because of all the lateness of this video, but happy belated birthday just in case, and I hope you had a great day. And if I haven't missed it, I hope you do have a great day. That covers all eventualities, I think. Tori Diamond. Would you consider doing a meet and greet tour around Australia, especially Perth? At the time of recording this, I'm actually getting ready to come over to Perth for a few days because I'm going to go and visit my good friend Nico for his birthday. I unfortunately won't have a chance to do a meet and greet type thing because I'm not going to be there for very long, but definitely the next time I'm over in Perth I will definitely try and organise some kind of a meet and greet thing. I'll definitely try to do that. That would be a good idea. I don't know about going around the whole country. I don't think I could do that, but I'll do my best. Whenever I sort of go to other parts of the country, I do try to do little meetups if I can, but yeah, it just depends on the schedule and timing and everything. Sometimes I'm not in places for very long. Hunter Gapes. If you could go to one state in Australia for a holiday, where would you go and why? Also, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you? I'm as old as my nose and a little bit older than my teeth. In fact, I'm a great deal older than some of my teeth, but that's another story. Another question. What do you do on Australia Day? Okay, I do absolutely bugger all on Australia Day. Most of the time I'm sort of recovering from my birthday, which is the day before. So it's usually sort of hiding under the blankets going, I'm so old. What's the other question? If I could go to one state in Australia for a holiday, where would you go and why? Possibly South Australia. Go to Adelaide because I've never been there, and I've got a few friends who live over there, and I would like to go over and harass them and, you know, cause trouble. It would be lots of fun. But yeah, so hopefully if I get some spare time this year, I will actually check that little box and come over and check out South Australia. I hear they have a lot of serial killers there. It should be fun. Tim Aguero. Do you have any animals? If yes, can you show them? Topaz, my cat, is actually in several videos on the blog channel. You just got to go and have a search. She's not very camera happy. She tends to sort of shy away from the camera. But if you look on my Instagram feed, you will see pictures of her now and again. I can usually get a snap of her occasionally. So, yeah. Louise Coghlan? I think I've got that wrong again. What do you know about Ireland and the Irish? Stereotypical or otherwise, I can take a joke. From Louise in Dublin, Ireland. Oh, I don't know a lot about Ireland. As I say, beyond the stereotypes of the fiddle-dee potatoes, that's my total knowledge of Irish culture. You can blame Cakes by Chopper for that one, because he's the one who introduced me to fiddle-dee potatoes. I'm going to get hate mail from Ireland. I would actually like to come and visit Ireland, because I've heard it's absolutely beautiful, and I would like to go over there and kiss the doodah and, you know, drink the thing. I don't know a lot about Ireland, I'll be honest, but it would be a lot of fun to go over there. Plus, I love the Irish accent, especially Irish men. Oh, love that accent. I love it. God, that sounds terrible. Oh, dear. I'm going to get destroyed. Oh, we've come to the end. Riley S. as the last questions. Have travelled a bit and have noticed that certain foods and beverages taste different depending on where you are in the world. For example, milk in the UK tastes different to milk in the US. Also, do you have any food allergies? Yes, food definitely does taste different in different countries, and often when it comes to things like milk, it comes down to the cows and what they're fed. I know UK milk is very rich because they don't filter out as much cream as they do with US and Australian milk. As for food allergies, I don't really have any. I don't eat a lot of seafood because it doesn't agree with me, but I'm not sure if it's a food allergy as such. Other than that, I don't really have any specific food allergies that I know of. At least, that being said, my brain is so scrambled these days. Who knows? I'm probably allergic to everything and just can't remember. Because that's just the fun of going crazy. Alright guys, well I'm going to wrap this one up, and thank you for all your questions, and again I apologise for the lateness of this video. I hope you can forgive me, and if you can't, well, meh, whatever. You can tell how heartbroken I am. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to get your questions in at the bottom of this video for the next edition of Coffee Time, which will be probably in about 27,000 years. Who the hell knows? Alright guys, lots of love to you all. Keep out of trouble, and I shall talk to you later. Bye.